is my fight song.
Well, hasn't it been a big week in politics again, with Bill Shorten appearing to be isolating himself from the Labor Party and Tony Abbott fighting for his future? So it's a good morning to Shadow Minister for Transport and Infrastructure, Anthony Albanese, and the Assistant Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg. Good morning, lads. G'day. Nice to see you this morning.
G'day, Albo.
Josh, to you first up this morning, there are reports in the telly some of our most notorious terrorists will have their dual citizenships revoked and be sent back to where they came from. Is that happening?
Well, look, we really hope so. Today we're getting a report from a parliamentary committee. This is an area where both sides of the parliament want to ensure we do everything to protect Australia, and we've got some serious problems. The ASIO tell us there are 400 high-level terrorist-related investigations going on here in Australia, and more than 20 Australians have already been killed over in Syria and Iraq. And as you know, we've got our men and women in uniform over there trying to make the world a safer place. So we hope to act soon on this dual citizenship legislation.
You know it's going to get stuck in the High Court, perhaps?
I hope not, and let's hope the lawyers get out of the way here, because this is too serious an issue to delay too much longer.
Anthony?
Well, I think the changes that I hope the committee will recommend improve this legislation. We have no sympathy, nor should anyone, for people who are out there fighting against Australia on behalf of this extremist organisation. But at the same time, we want to make sure that inadvertently people aren't caught up. And I hope that the committee, my understanding is the committee report is unanimous. That's a good thing, because we need to make sure that national security is above partisan politics.
High Court needs to move aside, do you think, or what?
Well, no. I don't think it's up to politicians to tell courts what to do, and I think that's an important principle as well.
Agree.
I think Albo likes to tell the Royal Commissioner what to do, but let's put that one aside for a minute, Carl.
Oh, geez.
Not attend Liberal Party fundraisers. I would have thought common sense tells the Royal Commissioner
We're moving on
what
with
he
that,
should
so
do.
we're moving on with all that. We're moving on. Economic news now. It's been a bleak week. Josh, when's the GST going up?
Well, this has been put forward by the most impressive Premier in the country, namely Mike Baird, and he raises a good issue there.
You've got problems with the others, but when's it going up?
Well, look, this is something the states are pushing. As you know, all the states would have to agree, and right now all the states don't agree. So let's just see where the debate goes.
OK, if you don't do that, how are you going to get control of the spending?
Well, we're already cutting spending significantly. We inherited at 3.5%.
The budget's a bit of a joke at the moment, though. You know, it's only getting worse.
No, that's not right. We're paying back Labor's debt. We know that Albo today is talking about increasing
your
the debt.
debt's getting worse.
No, don't believe that. Actually, we've been cutting the deficit.
It's fact.
No, we inherited a deficit, Carl, of 48 billion.
And you've doubled it.
No.
And you've doubled it. Debt up, deficit up, unemployment up, economic growth down. You've had a shocker.
No. We inherited a deficit of 48 billion. It's now 35 billion. It'll be 7 billion in 3 years' time. We're doing what Labor never did, which is pay back that debt.
No, you doubled it to 48 as your first act of government.
Now, Anthony, just back onto you. You haven't got a problem with debt, have you? You don't mind seeing more debt?
No, what I do have a problem with debt. What I want to see, though, is government to recognise the difference between capital debt, debt for infrastructure and recurrent debt. We need to get the budget under control, but all debt isn't the same. That's the truth. You and I wouldn't have ever had a house if you didn't borrow from the bank in order to secure long-term economic growth.
This is a tough sell in this environment, though.
Yeah, it's just about having a sophisticated adult debate, the sort of thing that Josh just showed he wasn't up for with that, with that comment. It's precisely what the business community are calling for.
The problem is you've got to get the other debt in control first, otherwise you're just going to spiral into more and more debt.
Oh, look, absolutely. We have a medium and long-term problem with the budget deficit. We need to get recurrent expenditure under control. At the same time, we need to not do what has happened, which is that infrastructure investment has collapsed. You've had a 12% decline in infrastructure investment. That creates long-term problems for both fiscal policy and economic policy.
Carl, can I just say that Albo doesn't mind increasing the debt because he's never paid it back. The last time the Labor Party paid back the debt or came with a budget surplus was 1989.
And how are you going with that, Josh? You've doubled it, mate. You've doubled it.
1989, Bon Jovi was ruling the airwaves, mate. You were living on a prayer. That's what happened back then.
The figures are up there, Josh. You've doubled it, and you're the Assistant Treasurer.
Well, either either way, there's got to be some resolution here because at the moment it seems to be getting sicker, the economy. Bill Shorten, is he playing politics with the FTA, with China?
No, not at all. What he's saying
What is he doing?
Well, Labor's a party, one, that supports free trade. Secondly, we're not going to be lectured about relationship with China. It's Labor that forged the modern relationship with China against the opposition of the coalition. We started the negotiations on the free trade agreement. We have a simple principle, which is to make sure there's labour market testing. Essentially, all that means is if there are jobs created, see if Australians can do them first before you allow overseas workers to do them.
Is that in the FTA at the moment, Josh?
The FTA makes no changes whatsoever to our workplace relations law or to our 457
So what's the problem then,
visas.
Anthony?
So there's no problem with it. That's the issue.
Well, there are issues. If there's no problems, then sit down and make sure that that's made explicit. That's all we're asking for with this.
He's saying that it is.
A bit of common sense.
He's saying there's no changes at the moment.
Well,
so
there are changes in terms of the wording of the free trade agreement. There are changes in terms of skills recognition. And all we're saying is, look, there's enough conflict in politics without trying to make conflict up. And that's what we're concerned about here. We support free trade. We support increasing our relationship with China, but let's make sure it's in the Australian national interest.
Josh, can you guarantee that there'll be no Aussie jobs lost as a result of this FTA?
Absolutely. You could tens of thousands of new Aussie jobs will be created. It'll be great news for our dairy
You can
farmers.
guarantee none will be lost, though.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We can guarantee that because what this means is Australia as a country of 23 million people will be linked to an economy and a country of 1.2 billion people. It's great news for our dairy farmers, great news for our wine producers, great news for our health workers. 95% of everything we export will be tariff-free to China. Labor's just playing to the tune of the CFMEU here.
Josh, we do have to go, but you've done all right today. You're going to put your hand up if you get beaten in Canning?
We're going to win Canning, and we've got a great candidate in Andrew Hastie, and Tony Abbott was there just this week, and we'll be there again.
There's been no leaks this week. What's wrong with you all?
They haven't had a cabinet meeting.
On that note, we'll say goodbye. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Alva. Great to see you.
Good to be with you.
Thanks, guys.
Lisa.
Good to be with you.